Alright, welcome in everybody to the BMC Collectibles Breaks. I'm B. Today we've got one case of 2024 Elite Eclectic Football to get into. While we get started, feel free to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, bmc.collectibles, and save us as a seller on eBay. That'll make it that much easier to get back to us for more breaks. And let you know we go live at eBay Live. Also, intermission no purchase necessary for link down in the description. What time is racing? That is at 11:30, so in about 25 minutes, give or take. Box number one. And Jalen Daniels. 3 of 5. KC Conception. 7 out of 7. Maybe Met Tower. 5 out of 10. And LaDainian Tomlinson. 4 of 10. Box number 2. Dean Connors, 4 of 9. Jonah Coleman, 5 of 9. Jake Earingstool, 1 of 2. And Tyrone McMillan, 10 out of 10. Got an end case, TJ Finley, 24 out of 300. That is definitely an autograph, I guess. Randy White, 9 out of 10. Isaiah Davis, 5 of 9. And Jared Curtis, 3 of 4. Elijah Haven, fast. Okay. 77 out of 100. Isaac Jurindo, 1 of 2. DJ Uigalele, 5 of 8. And George McIntyre, 4 of 6. Fred Farrier, 7 of 10. Tyrone Tracy Jr., 1 of 1. Roman Wilson, 5 of 6. And triple auto for Brady Allen, Amari Huggins Bruce, and Colin Lacey. Trio graphic, 5 of 5. That'll be going to random.org at the end of the break here in a second. Noah Rogers, 1/2. Lewis Bond, 6/10. Kingston Viliamu Asa, 4/7. And quad auto, Haj Malik Williams, Jaden Thomas, Ricky White, and Jacob DeJesus, 1/7. Box number 7 was crossing the halfway point. Jalen Henderson, 6/6. Cameron Selden, 7/9. Monterey Foster Jr., 3/7. And quad auto, Faison Brandon, Ryder Lyons, Jared Curtis, and Dia Bell, 3/5. Demir Blankumsey, 6/10. Michael Hawkins Jr., 8/10. Cornelius Johnson, 1/8. And Shador Sanders, exotic, 5/10. Ryan Flournoy, 10/10. Jalen Lucas, 6/10. Adonai Mitchell, 8/10. And Jalen McMillan, 1/6. Box number 10. Byron Brown, 3/10. Walker Howard, 8/8. Paul Krause, 2/2. And Juju Lewis, 6/9. Samuel Brown, 4/5. Jurian Dickey, 6/9. Benjamin Brommer, 4/7. And Isaac Chirindo and Jacob Cowing, Duographs, 4/6. And final box of the break, box number 12. Audrey Gastame, 2/7. Trey Benson, 4/6. Jalen Lane, 5/9. And Jim McMahon and Steve Grogan, dual auto. Close us out, 7/8. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break as always. Go ahead and get a hit recap going here in just a second. Then we'll take care of the randoms. You're on NT NASCAR. That's coming up in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. For the hits, Jalen Daniels, KC Conception. Mabry Metzauer, LaDainian Tomlinson, Dean Connors, Jonah Coleman, Jake Beringstool or Brenningstool, Tetaru McMillan, Randy White, Isaiah Davis, Jared Curtis, Isaac Girendo, DJ Uigalele, George McIntyre, Fred Farrier, Tyron Tracy Jr., Roman Wilson, Noah Rogers, Lewis Bond, Kingston Viliamuasa, Jalen Henderson, Cameron Selden, Monterey Forrester Jr., Demir Blankupsy, Michael Hawkins Jr., Cornelius Johnson, Shador Sanders, Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Lucas, Adonai Mitchell, Jalen McMillan, Byron Brown, Walker Howard, Paul Krause, Juju Lewis, Samuel Brown, Jurian Dickey, Benjamin Bromner, Audrey Gastame, Trey Benson, and Jalen Lane. For the encased, we've got TJ Finley out of 300 and Elijah Haven out of 100. And then multi-signers. We've got duals, triples, and quads. Isaac Girendo and Jacob Cowing, Jim McMahon and Steve Grogan, Brady Allen, Amari Huggins Bruce, and Colin Lacey, Haj Malik Williams, Jaden Thomas, Ricky White, and Jacob DeJesus, Faison Brandon, Ryder Lyons, Jared Curtis, and Dia Bell. Alright, we're going to head to random.org for these fellas right here. So we'll catch you back here in a few seconds once we have that pulled up and good to go. Thank you guys again. This has been BMC Collectibles Breaks. We look forward to having you back here in the next one. Do have plenty more of this and other football breaks coming up, especially with draft season coming up and preseason. Very exciting. And of course, the college football season right around the corner. See you back here in the next one. To random.org we go. All right, we've got round the door pulled up and good to go. Going to roll some dice. Got to figure out how to be valid for us. We're going to go 5 times on each round, starting off with Isaac Sorrento and Jacob Cowing. That is 4 times on a roll. Isaac Sorrento coming out on top. Jim McMahon and Steve Grogan. Final roll. Jim McMahon coming out on top. Brady Allen, Amari Huggins Bruce, and Colin Lacey. Final roll. That is Colin Lacey coming out on top. Haj Malik Williams, Jaden Thomas, Ricky White, Jacob DeJesus. Final roll. And that is Ricky White coming out on top. And last but not least, Faison Brandon, Ryder Lyons, Jared Kurtz, and Dia Bell. And that is 4 times final roll. And it is Dia Bell coming out on top. Alright, that will do it for Eclectic Football. We're going to move on to NT Racing here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for that if you are in there. We've also got Multisport coming up in about an hour's time. And Vivid Baseball coming up at the top of the hour. So look forward to having you back in here for some of that as well. Get you back here in a few. All right, welcome in everybody to BMC Collectibles Breaks. I'm B. Today we've got one case of 2024 Panini NT NASCAR to get into. When we get started, feel free to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, BMC.collectibles, and save us as a seller on eBay. That'll make it that much easier to get back to us for more breaks and let you know who's alive and eBay Live. Also, need to mention the dope is safe. Link down in the description. Alright, box number one. Good luck, everybody. These things are extremely yellow. White Sparkle. Start off with Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, and Austin Dillon. Talk about being secure. Got a redemption on the back. Out of 49, Austin Dillon. Out of 35, Denny Hamlin. Lane Riggs out of 99. Parker Chase out of 99. Ernie Irvan out of 99. Dual patch out of 99. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. That'll be going to random.org at the end of the break. Auto out of 99 for Harry Gant. Patch auto. 10 out of 49 for Connor Mossack. Jamie McMurray. 27 out of 49. Patch auto. And redemption. Dual autographs for Brian and Haley Deegan. Boom. That will also be going to random.org at the end of the break. Good luck. We have a redemption. Clint Boyer, Joey Logano, and redemption. Sensational signatures. White Sparkle, William Byron. We did like 40 cases of last year's set. 0 White Sparkles. Case number 1 of this year, White Sparkle auto. Makes perfect sense. This thing is super thick. One of 5, Chase Briscoe, Emerald. Brad Keselowski, 2 of 5, Emerald. Eric Jones out of 99. Noah Gragson out of 99. Jumbo booklet, 24/25, William Byron. 19/25, Chase Elliott. Patch auto out of 49, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 1 of 1, Michael McDowell, laundry tag patch auto. Boom. Brad Keselowski out of 49. And out of 99, Ryan Blaney. Well, that is a good spot to be in halfway through. Box number 3, Matt DiBenedetto, Noah Gragson, and Tony Bradinger, white sparkles. Okay, well this one's special. It only has the Panini on the sides. It doesn't have anything on the ends. Does it mean it's less secure? Ryan Newman out of 35. Out of 49, Noah Gragson. Austin Dillon out of 25. Freddie Zamora out of 99. Joey Logano out of 25. Nick Sanchez, 3 of 10. Todd Dillon out of 99. Oh boy, we still got some of this. 2023 Prime out of 49, Riley Herbst. Oh, Denny Hamlin. Nice, out of 99. And Kyle Busch, 1 of 25. And final box to break, box number 4. Yeah, I think that's about what they did. Ben Rhodes, John Hunter Nemechek, and Danica Patrick to close out the white sparkles. Let's see if that theory... Oh, nope. Looks like they did actually tape it on all sides this time. Kind of amazing how long Prime has just been a thing. It was in its own stuff. It was in Chronicles. It was in NT last year, and it's an NT this year. Impressive. Great set. Carl Larson out of 25. Bubba Wallace out of 49. Out of 99, Matt Kenseth. Matt Mills out of 75. Dual patch, Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney out of 99. That'll also be going to random.org. There's 2 of them we got to take care of. Bubba Wallace out of 25. Auto out of 49, Jake Drew. Parker Chase, 21 out of 99. That's 2023. Dual auto, Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski out of 99. Also going to random.org. And final card of the break will be out of 49, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Patch auto. Go ahead and close it out. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break as always. Go ahead and get a hit recap going here. And then we'll take care of the randoms in a minute. If you guys enjoyed, don't worry about it. We have so much more. So come on back. Thumb through the white sparkles real quick. Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Clint Boyer, Joe Logano, Matt DiBenedetto, Noah Gragson, Tony B, Ben Rhodes, John Hunter Nemechek, Danica Patrick, and William Byron, white sparkle auto redemption. Still can't believe we didn't have one in 2023, but we have it in the first break of 2024. Nick Sanchez, Todd Dillon, Riley Herbst, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Lane Riggs, Parker Chase, Ernie Irvin. Slap this right here. Harry Gant, Connor Mossack, Jamie McMurray, Chase Briscoe out of 5, Brad Keselowski out of 5, Eric Jones, Noah Gragson, Chase Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 1 of 1, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Ryan Newman, Noah Gragson, Austin Dillon, Brittany Zamora, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Matt Kenseth, Matt Mills, Bubba Wallace, Jake Drew, Parker Chase, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Booklet out of 25 for William Byron. And duels, got a couple of them. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Dual auto redemption, Brian Deegan and Haley Deegan, and Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher out of 99. Dual auto. All right, we're going to go to random.org for these 4. We'll catch you back here for that in just a second. We'll get that set up and good to go. For everybody else, thank you guys for being part of the break. We really do appreciate it. And we have plenty more NT, so come on back. We have got you covered for the next 30 or so breaks at least. So look forward to having you in here again. Let's see. Up next is Vivid Baseball, and after that we do have some multi-sport. I think that is Leaf Metal Heroes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have y'all in here and good to go in a bit as well. A little after the top of the hour. To random.org we go. All right, we've got random.org pulled up and good to go. Gonna roll some dice. Gonna be through how to be valid for us. We're gonna go 7 times on each round. Start off with Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. That is 6 times. Final roll. Joey Logano coming out on top. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Dual patch. Final roll. That is Kyle Larson coming out on top. Brian and Haley Deegan, redemption out of 99, dual auto. Bottom row. That is Brian Deegan coming out on top, and Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher, dual auto out of 99. Bottom row. And it is Chris Buescher coming out on top. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break, as always. We'll catch you guys in the next one. This has been BMC Collectibles Breaks. Leaf Vivid Baseball. Y'all are up next and on deck. We'll catch you in here at the top of the hour to start that off. Alright, welcome in everybody to BMC Collectibles Breaks. I'm B. Today we've got one case of 2024 Leaf Vivid Baseball to get into. While we get started, feel free to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, BMC.collectibles, and save it as a seller on eBay. That'll make it that much easier to get back to us for more breaks. And we know we go live at eBay Live. Also, no purchase necessary for link down in the description. Box number 1, Jason Churio, out of 9. George Brett, out of 8. Caden Bodine, 2 of 8. Gary Gill Hill, 4 of 9. Peyton Toll, 2 of 9. Christian Scott, out of 8. And dual auto for Carson Benji and Jeremy Rodriguez, 3 of 10. Steve Monster Millam, 4 of 7. Gavin Turley, 7 of 10. Jake Bloss, 2 of 3. Kalen Culpepper, Technicolors, 9 of 9. Jonah Tong, out of 5. Cam Commenti, 4 of 10. And Charlie Sheen and DB Sweeney, 4 of 10, dual auto. Brendan Summerhill, out of 5. Nick Kurtz, out of 5, or out of 6. Drake Baldwin, 1 of 10. Liam Peterson, out of 9. Braylon Payne, out of 6. Ryan Waldschmidt, out of 10. And Jackson Churio, bright and shiny, 9 out of 10. Victor Scott, 7 of 7. Samuel Basallo, out of 10. Braden Montgomery, out of 10. David Shields, out of 6. Carter Holton, out of 7. Carson Benji, 6 of 8. And Paul Skeens, dazzling performers, 3 of 6. Boom. Jordan Lawler, 3 of 8. Roger Clemens, 4 of 8. Trey Phelps, 7 of 9. Miguel Blaze, 4 of 6. Cam Cazell, 2 of 8. Gavin Turley, 2 of 4. And Christian Campbell, 2 of 4. Box number 6. Travis Bazzana, 6 of 8. Alfredo Sena, out of 10. Angel Martinez, 4 of 4. Eduardo Tate, out of 6. Boston Bateman, out of 4. Will Gasparino, 5 of 5. And Travis Bazzana, 5 out of 10. Why is that T lowercase? Everything else is uppercase, capitalized, except for the T. That's a weird one. Getting just a little bit too groovy for me, Leaf. Box number 7. Chase Burns, 9 of 9. Kristen Campbell, out of 8. Landon Rupp, 8 of 8. Lucas Shaw, 8 of 8. Blake Burke, 5 of 8. Yober Diaz, 6 of 10. And Jace Laviolette, 5 of 6. Box number 8. Frank Thomas, 1 of 5. Luke Dickerson, 3 of 7. Charlie Condon, 3 of 9. Jacob Melton, 2 of 9. Trey Savage, 6 of 6. AJ Garcia, 4 of 10. And Ladonis DeVries, 8 of 10. Ivan Rodriguez, 1 of 8. Brady Evil, 1 of 4. Cam Smith, 1 of 2. Tommy Troy, 3 of 4. Illustrations for Juan Gonzalez, 6 of 10. My favorite of the set. Juan Nunez, 4 of 8. And Emmanuel Rodriguez, 8 of 10. And final box to break, box number 10. Good luck, everybody. Lazaro Montez, 9 of 9. Cooper Pratt, 2 of 2. David Matoma, 6 of 8. Jordan Beck, 4 of 6. Tyler Bremner, 6 of 6. Wahiwa Aloy, 3 of 9. And Dylan Cruz, Dazzling Performers, 2 of 3. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break as always. Go ahead and get a hit recap going real quick. Then we'll take care of the randoms. If you are in multi-sport, that is coming up in give or take 15-ish minutes. For the hits, Jason Cheerio, George Brett, Caden Bodine, Gary Gilhill, Peyton Toll, Christian Scott, Steve Monster Millum, Gavin Turley, Jake Floss, Caitlin Culpepper, Jonah Tong, Cam Comenti, Brendan Summerhill, Nick Kurtz, Drake Baldwin, Liam Peterson, Braylon Payne, Ryan Waldschmidt, Jason Cheerio, Victor Scott, Samuel Basalo, Brady Montgomery, David Shields, Carter Holton, Carson Benji, Paul Skeens, Jordan Lawler, and Roger Clemens. Trey Phelps, Miguel Blaze, Cam Cazell, Gavin Turley, and Christian Campbell. Travis Bazzana, Alfredo Sania, Angel Martinez, Eduardo Tate, Boston Bateman, Will Gasparino, Travis Bazzana, Chase Burns, Christian Campbell, Landon Rupp, Lucas Shaw, Blake Burke, Yober Diaz, Jace Laviolette, Frank Thomas, Luke Dickerson, Charlie Condon, Jacob Melton, Trey Savage, AJ Garcia, Leo DeVries, Ivan Rodriguez, Brady Evil, Cam Smith, Tommy Troy, Juan Gonzalez, Juan Nunez, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Zaro Montez, Cooper Pratt, David Matoma, Jordan Beck, Tyler Bremner, Vahiwa Aloy, Dylan Cruz, and dual autos for Carson Benji and Jeremy Rodriguez, and Charlie Sheen and DB Sweeney. Alright, that is it for Leaf Vivid. I'm going to head over to random.org real quick and take care of these guys, and then we will be all set to take on some multi-sport in just a little bit. Stay tuned for that. To random.org we go. All right, we've got Random the Door pulled up and good to go. Gonna roll some dice. Gonna be 3 or higher to be valid for us. We're gonna go 7 times on each random, starting off with Carson Benji and Jeremy Rodriguez. Dual auto. That is 6 times. Final roll. Jeremy Rodriguez coming out on top. And Charlie Sheen and D.B. Sweeney. That is 6 times. Final roll. D.B. Sweeney coming out on top. All right, that'll do it for Vivid. Thank you guys again. This has been BMC Collectibles Breaks. We look forward to having you all back in here for more baseball. If you're in Leaf Metal Sports Heroes, that is coming up in give or take 15-ish minutes. Is it always this fast? That it is. Let's see. I just started last week and it was a different guy. Yep. But I was on vacation. I'm the main guy who does the breaks. Alex was taking over while I was out of the country. But now I'm back in here. And yeah, we tend to go around this like pace. Usually also the schedule's a bit different. It's usually a little bit closer together, so there's not like a ton of downtime. Tends to be like 20 minutes per break, give or take. That way we're not just kind of hanging out for like 10, 15 minutes waiting till the next one. I appreciate it, man. Oh, but yeah, we do free shipping because why would we charge shipping when we'd have to refund for a lot of these things when a lot of spots don't hit? It's just a lot easier to keep up with. And I think it's pretty good value, especially since we do a lot of Leaf stuff. Let's see, were there any Brody Brecks? I don't believe so. I don't believe there were any Brody Brecks. Yeah, well, that's how it normally is. And because we have a 2-person setup during the breaks. That way that we don't have to take the time to like pause for a little bit, top load everything, all that kind of stuff. If you don't hit a card, then you don't have a shipping to refund. So we just your order just gets marked as shipped in the eBay system, and that is it. It gets archived, and there's nothing really else to do. Like a really short, sweet, simple process. Yeah, we like to keep it as like easygoing and like brain off, I guess, is a good way to describe it as possible. It's just like grab a couple of cheap spots, grab the person you like. For me, I think Blake Burks and this particular product really good value. I think he'll be starting in the bigs after like another year or two. And just kind of chill, basically. Don't have to worry about paying shipping or waiting for like invoices for any of that kind of stuff. Future is going to be break number, or Sports Heroes break number 8. Get that set up. That's also another part of, since we do breaks earlier in the day, it's a lot easier to just kind of knock things out. For a while we did breaks like later into the evening, around like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, but that just, it gets in the way of like other breaks that are ending. Like, you can't really watch and bid at the same time, which is a bit of a pain for people. And on top of that, we moved it to like an actual office setup. So it's easier to just have people working, you know, during like actual office hours for like shipping. The shipping team's here during the afternoon and gets all that taken care of. Sorting, shipping, all that fun stuff. So just a lot easier to maintain the full operation doing it in the daytime. Yes, sir, Mr. Darian. I can invoice you. Give me just a second. I tried to send one earlier, but it would not let me. It said payment was pending on most of them. Let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, you are invoiced. That should make that a lot easier. Lots of fun so far, and that's what we like to hear. All right, welcome in everybody to BMC Collectibles Breaks. I'm B. Today we've got one case of 2025 Leaf Metal Sports Heroes to get into. I'll get started. Feel free to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, BMC.collectibles, and save us as a seller on eBay. That'll make it that much easier to get back to us for more breaks and let you know we go live and even live. Also, need to mention no purchase necessary for link down in the description. Good luck, everybody. Go ahead and get started. Thank you, sir. Happy to be back. And yes, let us do It's a Messy. Box number 1, Devontae Adams. Out of 9, Mike Schmidt. Out of 4, and dual auto for Tony Oliva and P. Rose. 5 of 8. Jim Palmer, out of 9. Penny Hardaway, 1 of 1. And quad auto, Brutus Beefcake, Tito Santana, Tatanka, and Coco Beware, 7 of 10. Raleigh Fingers, out of 35. Max Holloway, out of 15. And Giannis, 1 of 35. Joe Dumars, 2 of 9. Greg Oden, 52 out of 100. Steph Curry, Steve Nash, and Magic Johnson. Triple auto, 7 of 8. Boom. Box number 5. Appreciate it, man. Promise not to leave you guys again. Fred Williamson, 2 of 2. Mike Piazza, 425. And Joe Theismann, Captain Bubbly, 60 out of 100. Richard Dent, 1 of 2. Iron Mike Tyson, out of 25. And Sean Kemp, 80 out of 100. Rain Man. Dwight Gooden, 4 of 6. Paul O'Neill, out of 6. And Giannis, back again, 47 out of 100. Larry Nance Sr. out of 4. Joe Montana out of 30. And Floyd Money Mayweather, 14 out of 35. Lynn Dickey out of 35. Ryan Sandberg out of 15. And Pedro Martinez 88 out of 100. Box number 10. Sidney Moncrief, 3 of 4. Maya Hamm, 3 of 8. And 1 of 8, Alex Morgan. Box number 11. Thurman Thomas, 4 of 8. Edgerrin James, 1 of 1. And Barry Sanders, 2 of 10. Riddick Bowe, 1 of 1. Terry Bradshaw, 3 of 5. And Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy. Box number 13. Donnie Shell, 1 of 1. Jim Kelly, 1 of 5. And Steph Curry, 6 of 7. Boom. Tim Hardaway out of 35. Reggie Jackson out of 10. And Troy Polamalu, 82 out of 100. And final box of the break. Good luck, everybody. Box number 15. George McIntyre, G-Mac, out of 9. Allen Iverson, out of 35. And Andre Dawson, 47 out of 100. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break, as always. Gonna go ahead and get a hit recap going here in just a second, and then we will take care of the randoms. Alright, for the hits, Devontae Adams, Mike Schmidt, Jim Palmer, Penny Hardaway, Raleigh Fingers, Max Holloway, and Giannis. Joe Dumars, Greg Oden, Fred Williamson, Mike Piazza, Joe Theismann, Richard Dent, Mike Tyson, Sean Kemp, Dwight Gooden, Paul O'Neill, Giannis, Larry Nance Sr., Joe Montana, Floyd Money Mayweather, Lynn Dickey, Ryan Sandberg, Pedro Martinez, Sidney Moncrief, Maya Hamm, and Alex Morgan. Thurman Thomas, Edgerrin James, Barry Sanders, and Riddick Bowe. Terry Bradshaw, Bartolo Colon, Donnie Shell, Jim Kelly, Steph Curry, Tim Hardaway, Reggie Jackson, Troy Polamalu, George McIntyre, Allen Iverson, and Andre Dawson. And for the multi-signers, dual auto for Tony Oliva and Pete Rose, Steph Curry, Steve Nash, and Magic Johnson, and Brutus Beefcake, Tito Santana, Tatanka, and Coco Beware. Alright, that is it for Multisport. Thank you guys so much for being part of the break, as always. Back-to-back skunks? I'm sorry. It does happen. Them's is the breaks, as they say. All right, we're going to head to random.org for these guys. Stay tuned if you have any of them and the random. Get that squared away. And for the rest of you, look forward to having y'all back in here for more breaks tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, because they just never stop. On to random.org we go. All right, we've got random.org pulled up and good to go. Got to roll some dice. Gonna be through your high to be valid for us. Gonna go 5 times on each random, starting off with the dual auto of Tony Oliva and Pete Rose. That is 4 times. Final roll. Tony Oliva coming out on top. Steve Nash, Steph Curry, and Magic Johnson, triple auto. That's 4 times. Final roll. And it is Steve Nash coming out on top. Congratulations. And Brutus Beefcake, Tito Santana, Tatanka, and Coco Beware. 4 times. Final roll. That is Coco Beware coming out on top. Congratulations. All right, that'll do it for us for today. This has been BMC Collectibles Breaks. Thank you guys for joining and spending some time here with us on a Monday. And we look forward to having y'all back in here sometime in the very near future for more breaks. Till then, guys.